Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah Harihi Om Dhyayamo Dhavalavagunthanavatim Tejomayim Naishtikim Snigdhapangavilokinim Bhagavatim Mandasmita Shrimukhim Vatsalyamritavarshinim Sumadhuram Sankirtanalapinim Shyamangim Madhusikta Suktim Amritanandatmikam Om Amriteshwaryai Namah Om Amriteshwaryai Namah Om Amriteshwaryai Namah. Om Amriteshwaryai Namah. Let us continue with our discussion on Hanuman Chalisa. The last week we discussed the second half of first verse and then the second and the third verses. We discussed about how Lord Hanuman illuminates all the three worlds. That was the second part of the first verse. And then the second verse we discussed about how Lord Hanuman is a messenger of the divine, of Lord Rama. And the spiritual takeaway from it, we discussed about it in detail last week, and about how Lord Hanuman is known for being the son of Anjana and the wind god Vayudeva or Pavanaputra. And then we discussed about, again from the second verse and combining it with the third verse, about the ultimate strength or immeasurable strength of Hanuman, how his body is considered to be made out of Vajra, precious stone like diamond, which cannot be easily destroyed, and how Hanuman represents the mental strength too, wherein you try to do away with kumati, do away with thoughts or any activity of the mind which is negative in nature, and befriend sumati, activity of the mind which is positive in nature. These were the things we discussed the last week. Today, we'll try to discuss the fourth and the fifth verses. The fourth verse goes as Kanchan Baran Biraj Subesa Kanan Kundala Kunchit Kesa. So as we've been doing it the last few weeks, let us pronounce it in 4 parts. I will lead it. Please respond once after me. Kanchan Varan. Just to remind you, V and B in Avadhi, V and B can be interchanged. So and especially in this line, there are 3 words with the letter V. So you could replace it with B, which is fine. So it could be Kanchan Varan Viraj Suvesa, or it could be Kanchan Baran Biraj Subesa. Either way. So please respond after me. Kanchan Varan, Kanchan Varan, Viraj Suvesa, Viraj Suvesa, Kanan Kundala, Kanan Kundala. The N and the D have the dots below, which is same as how we've been doing it in the other Sanskrit texts. Whenever there's a dot below a letter, it is to be pronounced with rolling your tongue up, touching the top of your mouth with the bottom of the tongue or with the tip of the tongue. Nda, Kundala. Kunchita Kesa, Kunchita Kesa. Kanchana Varana Viraj Suvesa Kanana Kundala Kunchita Kesa. Once more. Kanchana Varana Viraj Suvesa Kanana Kundala Kunchita Kesa. So, describing Lord Hanuman, the verse says, Kanchana Varana, one Varana, color, whose color is Kanchana, one whose color is golden in nature. There's a golden hue around him. Viraj Suvesa. Viraj, someone who is resplendent, someone who is just effulgent. Suvesa. It's again a Avadhi pronunciation. The Sanskrit equivalent would be Suvesha. Vesha, appearance. Su is a prefix which makes it positive in nature. So one who has a good or great appearance. Or it could also be interpreted as someone who is dressed well, who's presented well. So Viraj Suvesa. Kanana Kundala. Kanana, in your ears, in his ears, he has Kundala. He has the earrings. Kunchita Kesa. Kesa, the head, referring specifically to the hair, is Kunchita, is curly in nature. So Lord Hanuman, who has this golden hue around him, who is all resplendent, who is very well presented, or who is good looking in nature, and who has earrings in his ears, and who has curly hair. So that's what the fourth verse is describing Lord Hanuman as. So let's just look at the spiritual impart here. So starting with the golden hue of Hanuman. If you remember, we discussed about how the bear character, Jambavan, he's the one who reminded Hanuman of his strengths that he had forgotten because of a curse. So Jambavan talks to Hanuman and reminds of him of his strength. And then he leaps across the Indian Ocean. So when Jambavan was to explain to Hanuman his, it's fine, it's outside. There's some noise here, it's fine. So Jambavan is referring to Hanuman. He's explaining to Hanuman about his strength. He's reminding him of his strength. So when he's explaining to him, he refers to Hanuman as Hema Shaila Abhadeha. Hema Shaila Abhadeha. He refers to him as what? Hema Shaila Abhadeha. Hema, golden. Shaila, mountain. Abha, effulgence. Deha, one who has a body. So he's referring to him as, oh, you who has a body which is huge like a mountain and has a golden orb around it. So not just a little golden hue, it's like a huge golden hue, huge golden effulgence. So that's how Jambavan refers to Hanuman. Hema Shaila Bhadeha. So Hanuman is referred to as one who has that golden orb or the golden effulgence around him. It is also aspected to Lord Hanuman's proximity to the sun god, Surya Deva. And we have not come across this story yet. We'll discuss about it because it is explained or it is referred to in the later verse. That's why we never touched upon this story, because with Hanuman, anyone who's familiar with Lord Hanuman's life is definitely familiar with the episode when he was a little boy and he mistook the sun to be a fruit and he just went and gobbled it. So we'll discuss about it later. And they say that gave him that effulgence, spiritual essence, one who imbibed the great qualities that the Sun Lord represents. So he has a golden orb or effulgence thereby. And then Lord Hanuman, as we discussed the last week, was an ardent student of the sun god. He kept revolving around the sun god as he kept perceiving and learning from the sun god. And thus he received the effulgence of sun, is another belief. So one who has that hue, one who has that effulgence of gold around him. There is also a very nice story or episode from Ramayana, again reflecting Lord Hanuman's innocence, at the same time his devotion. So now Lord Hanuman is asked to go across the ocean, and he has to meet Sita as Lord Rama's messenger. Lord Rama gives his ring, very precious ring, to him. We discussed that the last week. So he has to take the ring to Mother Sita. It's a very precious thing that he needs to carry, and he needs to make sure he safeguards it during his travel across, because he doesn't know how's his travel going to be as he tries to cross the ocean. So he needs to secure it as well as he could. So now he's thinking, where should I secure it? Where should I keep it to secure? Because I'm going on this quick trip, I don't have a carry-on, or I don't have a check-in bag, so I cannot put it in there. So now I need to think, how can I take it in my carry-on bag? Now I cannot take my carry-on bag too, because there's no airplane. I just need to fly. The more heavy I travel, more difficult it's going to be. So I don't have any bags. Now where do I keep the ring? So he first thinks, let me just wear it. Let me put it on my finger. It's just secured there. But then he reminds himself that will be disrespectful to Lord Rama. It is Lord Rama's ring which he wears, and he is giving it to Sita. So if I wear it, that will be disrespectful. So I'll not do that. Then he thinks, then why don't I hold it in my hand? But if I hold it in my hand, I can lose it, because I may have to climb things. I don't know what my journey is going to be like, so I may have to climb on things, so I may lose grip on the ring. So maybe I lose it that way. Why don't I put it in my clothes? But then when I'm traveling, what if it falls off? I wouldn't even realize. So I shouldn't do that. Why don't I tie it across my sacred thread that I'm wearing across my body? Then he thinks, if I keep it on my sacred thread, then it is all open. It is least secure. Anyone can snatch it from me. That is also not possible. What do? He keeps thinking of one option after the other. So what is the best place to keep the ring? He then thinks, the ring has Lord Rama's name on it. And where is the best to keep Lord Rama's name? He thinks about it. And this is where Lord Hanuman's innocence as a monkey and his wisdom as a great being comes forth. He thinks the best place to keep Rama's name is where? In my tongue, because my tongue should ever keep calling Rama's name. So let me keep the ring in my mouth. And at the same, though it seems childish in nature, it is quite profound in nature too, because where should we have Lord Rama's, our Lord's name, or Guru's name, or our beloved deity's name? Ever in our tongue. So it is representative of that. It reminds us, keep the name ever in our tongue. You know, if you look at it more from an intellectual point of view, when I was reading this story, when I came across this story very first time, when I was going through, when Hanuman was deliberating on where should I keep the ring, mine was, the best way is to keep it in your heart. That is, if you look at it, not very practical answer. It's more flowery, telling keep the ring in your heart. But Hanuman's response, or his resolution, was more practical in nature, but at the same time, it is quite profound, with a message that keep the name of Lord Rama ever in your tongue. You know, talking about name in your tongue, Amma is someone who always reminds us, keep chanting our mantra as much as possible. In Amma's own life, when Amma was little, she used to keep chanting Krishna's name. And if she would miss chanting Lord Krishna's name as she was walking, she would take as many steps back from when she forgot to chant Krishna's name, and then walk forward chanting Lord Krishna's name. Amma set an example for all of us as she was growing as a child, to ever keep the Lord's name in our mind. And Amma says, chanting the mantra is one of the best ways to keep our mind focused and one-pointed. Because otherwise, the very nature of our mind is to keep jumping from here and there like a monkey, which Hanuman represents. But Hanuman represents how the monkey mind can be brought under control. Shama and Dama, to control the senses and the mind. So ever keep the chant in your tongue. Just talking about the significance of chanting. Lord Vishnu's, one of his ardent devotees is sage Narada, who is considered to be the best amongst all the sages. So sage Narada is ever considered amongst the top of Lord Vishnu's devotees. And Lord Narada, if you see him in all these movies or TV series that relate the stories from the epics, we'll always see Narada would enter the scene telling Narayana, Narayana, showing that he always chants Lord Vishnu's name, or he is ever in Lord Vishnu's remembrance. But then once Lord Narada happened to overhear Lord Vishnu praise someone on earth as his best devotee, and Lord Narada was quite taken aback. How can someone else be bigger than me as a devotee? He confronts Lord Vishnu. He asks him, how is that possible? Who is this person? And he says, just go and see for yourself. You will see that he's quite devoted to me. And he goes down on earth and he kind of spies on this person and watches what he does. He wakes up in the morning, keeps chanting Lord Vishnu's name. He brushes his teeth, does his morning ablutions, and then goes. He's a farmer, so goes to the farm, does his farming stuff all the way from sunrise to sunset, comes back, and he just keeps chanting Vishnu's name every now and then, or literally throughout. And Maharshi Narada didn't feel anything special about it. He's like, he's just chanting Vishnu's name. That's it, what I see. Other than that, he's just going about his normal life. So what's the big deal about this? He goes back to Lord Vishnu and asks him, what's the big deal? I know he's chanting your name, but other than that, I don't see him being as outstanding a devotee of yours. Lord Vishnu says, okay, I'll put you through a test, and then you tell me, then we'll discuss about this. And he gives him a pitcher or a vessel filled with water until the brim. And he says, you carry this all across the creation, all across the world. Just make a circumambulation and come back here. But the condition is, not even a drop of water should spill out of this thing. So you need to be very, very careful as you carry this across the world. So now Lord Narada is so focused on it, and he makes it a point, not even a single drop of water spills from it. And he successfully goes all around and comes back to Vishnu all jubilant, telling, yes, I did it. See, you asked me to do it. I didn't spill even a single drop of water. Lord Vishnu praised him for that. He said, very well done. But let me ask you, in this process, as you were safeguarding the water, how many times did you chant my name? Then Narada remembers, not even once. I was so focused on that water not spilling that I didn't chant your name even once. And then Lord Vishnu explains to him, for the farmer, his life is like carrying this water in the vessel. A small mistake he makes in his farm, his whole year would be ruined. His family will go hungry. His people who depend on him, they'll all go hungry. They'll all suffer because of that. Because of which he needs to pay complete shraddha in what he does. In spite of that, he chants my name. So it was not about glorifying the devotee. Rather, it was a lesson for you that you thought you are the greatest. I just wanted to point out, even you have shortcomings. So it was whether Maharshi Narada was great or not is not the question here. The question here is, it was setting an example for us to learn from, so that we don't become complacent, thinking we are growing spiritually. But at the same time, the story conveys the importance of chanting the name, keeping the name of the divine in our tongue as much as we can. So coming back to Hanuman's story, it seems when he put the ring in his mouth, it seems he was covered with an golden effulgence thereby. That golden effulgence, it was a glow or an effulgence of euphoria. He got a lot of strength and energy doing so. And it was the effulgence, the light, which dispelled the darkness around him, because he was going somewhere which he was least aware of. He didn't know what was he getting into. So this ring showered light so that he knew where he was going. Or looking at it spiritually, it brought in the light of knowledge to dispel the darkness of ignorance. So what we learn from this part of the verse is, in the path of devotion, in bhakti yoga, in bhakti marga, the importance of keeping on the chanting of the mantra or the name of the divine holds a lot of significance. So golden hue and the significance of chanting. Because we keep chanting, we keep the mind one pointed, we automatically shine the light of knowledge or wisdom, which will dispel the darkness in us, within us and around us. So, Kanchanivaran, one who had the golden hue. Viraj Subesa, one who was resplendent in that golden hue. Subesa, one who was good looking. Hanuman is referred to as good looking. Monkeys and good looking probably don't go hand in hand, the two terms. But Hanuman is referred to as good looking. We keep repeating I think most of the episodes from Ramayana that we are discussing, that we have discussed the last few weeks during Hanuman Chalisa, it's about Hanuman going across to Lanka. Hanuman did this, Hanuman did that. All this, the canto or the chapter in Ramayana which covers all this is called Sundara Kanda. Sundara Kanda. Kanda means canto. And the name of the canto is Sundara, beautiful. And who is referred to as Sundara? Lord Hanuman. It seems Lord Hanuman, when he was born, his mother, Anjani or Anjana, she referred to him as Sundara, the beautiful one. And sage Valmiki used this part of, because Hanuman plays the primary role in this part of Ramayana. That's why that canto is named after Hanuman as Sundara, Sundara Kanda. So he was known for his beauty, for his enchanting appearance. When we talk about appearance or beauty, definitely the external beauty is beauty. We don't need to disregard that. When you say external, we needn't say that external beauty is nothing. External beauty is definitely significant. But at the same time, we need to recognize and understand external beauty is not permanent in nature. That's all. Aging would change it. Say we meet with an accident, that can change it. Say we have some form of disease, that can change it, or it can depreciate our beauty appeal, right? So external beauty definitely is beauty, but we need to understand it is not real beauty. When you say real, it is not permanent in nature. Anything that is permanent is real. Anything that is not permanent is ephemeral, is unreal in nature. That's all what we mean. So when we refer to beauty, we are more importantly referring to the internal beauty, because internal beauty is something which can be permanent in nature. Why? Because it enhances as we grow. Unlike the external beauty, which kind of depreciates as we grow, the internal beauty can always enhance as we grow if we put in the effort. External beauty, even if we put in the effort, some way or the other, the body will give in. But internal beauty, when we put in this spiritual effort, when we grow spiritually, the internal beauty definitely grows. And what is our internal beauty? Our internal beauty is our virtues, our habits, our nature, the maturity that we show in different situations. That is our internal beauty. And Lord Hanuman verily was known for that, his internal beauty, his virtues, his maturity in situations. So when we come across the term good looking is when we look at the goodness in anything and everyone. How well we see goodness in others decides how good looking we are. Play of words, right? Good looking is basically how good looking you are. I look at good things, then I am good looking. If I don't look at good things in others, I am going to be bad looking. People are not going to be comfortable around me. So, Lord Hanuman was the very embodiment of beauty, Suvesa, one who was beautiful in appearance, one who was very appealing in appearance. Again, an episode from Ramayana. Lord Hanuman has now gone across the ocean and he is in Lanka. Once he reaches Lanka, he is looking for Mother Sita. Mind it, he has never seen Mother Sita. He has only heard of Mother Sita. He has heard of all the greatness about Mother Sita, but he has not seen Mother Sita in person. And neither were those days wherein Lord Rama could have taken a selfie and shown him, this is how Mother Sita looks. It was not possible. So he never knew how Mother Sita looks. He didn't have a mobile phone that he can check Mother Sita's picture and compare it with someone. So now he goes in there like a spy. He was Lord Rama's messenger. He was also like a spy because he needs to go and find out where Mother Sita is so that they could plan and go and rescue her. So now he goes, the very first place he goes is the palace of Ravana. And he first wants to see if Mother Sita is around there. And then he goes into Ravana's room, his bedroom, and he sees the big form of Ravana, the strong form of Ravana sleeping. Then he looks around. At a distance, he sees a lady sleeping there, and he gets all ecstatic and joyous, telling, I found Mother Sita, and he starts celebrating. And then it strikes him. Am I right in understanding her as Mother Sita? Would Mother Sita, who is so devoted to Lord Rama, sleep near, would she even go near Ravana when she is so dedicated to Lord Rama? Maybe I made a mistake. She is not Mother Sita. And the next question is, would she even sleep so comfortably like this? Wouldn't she be waiting for Lord Rama? So that isn't Mother Sita. And then he stands corrected. I made a mistake in thinking she was Mother Sita. I committed a sin in even considering her Mother Sita. And then it seems he goes around the palace into every room, peeking into every room to see if Mother Sita is there. And then he goes to the houses nearby, again searching for Mother Sita. And as he does this, a thought crops within him, it seems. This is based on interpretations of Ramayana. So it seems a thought crops in him, thinking, am I doing the right thing? I am breaching into women's privacy. I'm going into their room, peeking into their room, and looking at them when they are sleeping. Am I doing the right thing? And then he was so confused, he didn't know whether he was doing the right thing or not, because he is doing something which he probably thought he shouldn't be doing. But then it seems he was so confused that he just kept calling out to Lord Rama, kept chanting Lord Rama's name. And it seems then it dawned within him that I am not here stalking these women. I am here just following Lord Rama's instructions to find Mother Sita. As a matter of fact, I am seeing Mother Sita in each one of them, right? Even Ravana's wife, I could see Mother Sita in her for some time. So I am actually doing a great thing in seeing Mother Sita in every woman I see. That's the advice sometimes Amma gives to monks. See the Divine Mother in everything. An experience of one of Amma's senior most disciples, Swami Purnamritananda. He had to stay away from Amma for some time in his initial days in Mumbai, wherein he had his work or something took him there, or his studies. And because he was in Mumbai, he was so dejected that he could never see Amma, because he couldn't see Amma. He was away from Amma. And it seems he would cry sometimes. And once he was traveling in a bus, and a woman came and sat next to him. He was very disturbed by her, because a young woman is sitting next to him. He just gets up, sits elsewhere. It seems the woman follows him, sits beside him again. And he was very disturbed that he got off the bus later. And it seems in some other context, later when he was relating it to Amma, or when he was discussing about missing Amma, Amma told him, I came to you and sat next to you on the bus. You refused to recognize me. You refused to accept me. What can I do? See Amma in every woman you deal with, basically. So that's what Hanuman did. He could see Mother Sita in everyone. So that way, he was not doing something wrong. So that defines his internal beauty. Or subesa basically means one who is well dressed, one who is internally well dressed. What is the internal dress or the clothing that we can have? The clothing of maturity, the clothing of having control over our senses, our thoughts, is the best way we can decorate our inside. So Lord Hanuman, that way, was suvesa. He was very well clothed and dressed inside him because his intentions were always pure. And this experience or this episode in Ramayana shows that very example that he set of the best of intentions one could have towards women. Look at your mother, your most respected woman, your mother Sita in everyone. That way you will always treat them the right way. So that is why one who is suvesa, one who is very well good looking, one who is very well dressed, subesa. Thinking about attraction, talking about beauty, we know all these various celebrities, some of them actors, some of them singers, some of them dancers, even some sports men and women. They have a lot of following. People just, throng around them, always follow them. But as they grow old, as they lose their ability, as they lose their physical appeal, of course, the amount of following just depletes, which is very natural. But think of it, let us not think about as Amma's children. Let's think of the scene as a third person. Think of this almost 70-year-old lady sitting on a chair, meeting with people. And it's not for 1 or 2 hours, it's for 15 to 23, 24 hours sometimes. Just sitting there, talking to each person who comes up to her. And there are hundreds, probably even thousands, sitting there just gaping at her, just watching her. Sometimes foregoing sleep, foregoing food, just sitting there and watching her. That probably is the best example of what beauty could be. And the numbers are going up as Amma grows old. Just think about it not from a devotee point of view. Just think about it from a third person point of view. To see so many people just watch Amma for hours talks about the beauty that Amma beholds. It's about the beauty within. I remember me and some of my fellow brahmachari brothers, we decided, or probably it was not that a particular day we decided that, it was a trend that we followed, that we will wait till Amma finishes giving darshan before we go to bed. So if you think about it, I've thought about it a few number of times. Why did I even decide to do that? Why should I be just looking at Amma, doing nothing, just watch Amma? Why should I do that? Probably it's this very beauty which inspired me to forego sleep, which is one of the most important things that we do in life, right? Sleep is very important to us. We all like to sleep. And here someone is foregoing sleep for 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 hours sometimes, just watching someone hug people. So if it is possible, it is because of that beauty which Amma exhibits. And just talking about sleep, I'm just reminded of how once during one of the Indian tours, Amma was giving darshan, and Indian tours, some places the programs can be huge. There'll be 100,000 people or even more. It'll be in huge ground. So we drive from the previous city, reach the city probably around, it was Pune in Maharashtra, in western part of India. And we reach there about 3 a.m. or so. And the moment we come, we immediately have to start setting up the sound system. All the various big speakers that need to go in different parts of the ground. So it's not a quick setup. It takes hours to set up. So we we come after this long drive, bumpy drive, and then we come immediately start setting up before sun rises, because otherwise it gets too hot. And then about 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, we are done setting things up. Then we go to sleep, and we have to come back in another 3 or 4 hours so that we can come back and test and make sure everything is working fine. So we don't get much sleep. But we still are quite energetic around Amma. That particular day, I remember I felt very sleepy. So did my couple of other brahmachari brothers. They felt sleepy too. They were like, I think today it's fine. Let's not wait till Amma finishes darshan. Let's go and take some rest. Let's go and sleep. And that day, we decided we'll have dinner, which we usually wait till Amma finishes darshan. And we also slept. And that was the day Amma chose to ask where I am, and wanted me to sing some bhajans at 3 a.m. or so while Amma was giving darshan. And Amma was told, I am sleeping. And I wish that brahmachari told at least I was meditating or something. But he said, I am sleeping. So I was sleeping, and then I remember someone waking me up and handing me a note from Amma. Amma had written, Amma didn't bring you on the tour to sleep and eat. You better come now to the stage and sing. Do your duty. And I had to go, and then got some mantras that Amma chanted into my ears, and then I sang. Anyway, I just thought I was reminded of that. So the whole, that has nothing to do with this particular point that we are discussing, but I was just reminded of that. I thought I'll share that. So we all forgo sleep and just watch Amma. That talks of the beauty, the internal beauty, which Lord Hanuman or any Mahatma represents. So, Kanchana Bharana Biraj Subesa, one who is effulgent, one who is resplendent in golden hue, and one who is good looking. And then Kanana Kundala, one who has earrings in his ears. Again, just explaining the appearance of Hanuman. But just talking about the earrings, I just thought I'll just share this particular episode from Ramayana, wherein the king of the Hanuman, the king of the monkeys, the king of Kishkinda, the kingdom of Kishkinda, was Bali or Vali. And Vali was not a very righteous person, so to say. He was very powerful. And then he learned that Hanuman could be a cause for his downfall. And Hanuman wasn't born yet. Mother Anjana was still carrying Hanuman in her womb. And Vali decides, I should make it a point Hanuman is not born, because he can become a cause for my downfall. So what does he do? He had this special poison, which was made out of the Panchaloha, the 5 metals, amalgamation of a combination of these metals. He had one of his confidant, a maid, go and give it to Anjana in the pretext of giving her some soup or some medicine to drink. And she very happily drinks it. She consumes it. And Vali is very, very happy now that she's consumed it. The thing with that poison is nothing happens to the person who consumes it. It only destroys the embryo, the fetus in the womb. So you would not know that someone killed. The person who gives the poison will go scotch-free, because nothing happens to the person who drinks it. So they would not suspect that someone poisoned them. But in any case, days go by, months go by, and he never hears that Anjana had a miscarriage. Eventually Hanuman was born, and Vali was completely taken aback. How come the poison didn't work on him? And it seems, the belief is, when Hanuman was born, he had these earrings in his ears, on his ears. And these earrings were made out of the 5 metals, the Panchaloha. So, because Tulsidas is referring to the earrings, I thought I'll just narrate this episode from the Ramayana, wherein Lord Hanuman had these earrings made out of the Panchaloha, the 5 metals, which was intended to actually kill him before he was born. So, Kanana Kundala, one who has Kundala, one who has the earrings in his ears. Kunchita Kesa, one who has curly hair. Again, just an appearance of Hanuman. But talking about Hanuman's hair, I just thought I'll share one another episode from some of the texts. It's not specifically from Ramayana, but some of the interpretations of Ramayana or subtexts. So it seems in Mahabharata, let's move forward. In Mahabharata, the Pandavas and the Kauravas have take part in the Mahabharata war, and Pandavas finally win. We have discussed that in Bhagavad Gita. So the Pandava brothers win, and once they win, Yudhishthira, who is to be declared the king, the emperor thereafter, he is to perform the Rajasuya Yajna. Yajna, the fire ceremony. Rajasuya is usually done, a yajna, a fire ceremony, a huge fire ceremony done when someone is to be crowned the king. So Yudhishthira is supposed to perform this. For him to perform this, they needed someone to lead or guide them. And who was supposed to do that? The best or apt person for that was a sage called Purusha Mriga. There was a sage called Purusha Mriga. Purusha translates to human being, Mriga translates to deer. So this sage was peculiar in nature. He was half deer, half human. He was human, but he had all the qualities of a deer. So he was very fast in moving, and his mind also worked very fast. So he was known as Purusha Mriga. So someone was to go and invite him. So Krishna advises Bhima, the second eldest brother of the Pandavas, to go and invite him. But he tells him inviting him is not going to be easy, because he is not going to agree that easily. He will challenge you, and only if you win the challenge will he agree to come. So make sure you act properly, you act judiciously, so that you convince him to come. And then Bhima is so confused of what to do, because he didn't think he had enough maturity or enough ability to meet with his challenges or satisfy his challenges. It seems that's when Hanuman comes to his rescue. And Hanuman tells Bhima, I will help you. And he gives a few strands of his hair to Bhima, telling, this will help you. The catch here is, if you drop a strand of the hair down onto the ground, numerous Shivalingas, linga, forms of Lord Shiva would appear from it. And that will help you. Bhima is not sure how is that going to help. Anyway, he goes confidently now and requests Purusha Mriga, sage Purusha Mriga, to come and perform the yajna. Sage Purusha Mriga says, I can come, but only if you win this challenge. And what is the challenge? I want you to run back to your palace. You run back to your palace. If I catch hold of you, it's like the game of tag. I should not come and tag you. If I come and touch you, you lose. Then I won't do it. But you should manage to run faster than me back to your palace, in which case I'll do it. That's how Purusha Mriga was. Always he posed a challenge. But then, because he had the ability of a deer, he could run much faster than Bhima. So he knew he couldn't outrun him. But he thought, let me give it a try. He runs. And Purusha Mriga is almost about to catch hold of him. And that's when he drops a strand of hair down onto the ground. And numerous Shivalingas just come up, materialize. And then when the sage, who is very devoted to Lord Shiva, sees all these Shivalingas, now he has to worship each of the Shivalinga. So he stops and worships each of the Shivalinga. Once he is done, he again runs to Bhima as fast as he could. And when he does, Bhima drops another strand of hair. And that kind of delays him from catching Bhima. And finally, Bhima makes it to the palace, and sage Purusha Mriga performs the Rajasuya Yajna. So why I thought I should share this story is, one, to reflect on the spiritual impart from this of what Bhima and Purusha Mriga are pointing out to. One, Hanuman's very existence is such that divine existed in every bit of him, every pore of him. Even an insignificant strand of hair in his body was such that it could produce numerous Shivalingas out of them. That explains his level of devotion, his level of being indulged in the path of devotion. So, our attitude as a devotee should be such that we have the divine in everything. Anything and everything should be divine for us. Even an insignificant strand of hair in our body should be filled with divine. We should see the divine in anything and everything. So that's one impart. From the point of view of the sage who is chasing Bhima, he is really trying to challenge someone and try to win that challenge. In that process, when he sees Lord Shiva's idol, his Lord Shiva's Shivalinga in front of him, he makes it a point, he doesn't forget to worship them. That explains his commitment to his sadhana. We are all like that in our life. We are trying to meet one challenge after the other, be it work, be it family, be it friends, be it whatever. We are running after one challenge or the other. And in that process, we say, I am too busy, I cannot meditate. I am too busy, I cannot chant. I am too busy, I couldn't do Archana today. It is a reminder for us, in midst of the busyness, in midst of being busy, the sage, he set the right example. I still will take time off to worship my divine, my beloved. So, again, another thing, a takeaway for us as part of our repository that we are trying to build in defining what bhakti is. I mentioned this at the very beginning, that we'll try to form a repository from every verse, what we learn about bhakti. I forgot to add that to the slides today. I think from next week onwards, we'll try to do that. From the first verse, what did we learn from Hanuman? Because he's a great devotee. What are the qualities we learned from him? We'll make a repository, and all those would define what a true devotee would be like. So we'll do that from the next week. So, Kunchita Kesa. Even Hanuman's hair was such that the divine resided even there. He was so full of the divine. He's so full of God. His thoughts and everything was full of God. So that is the third verse. Kanchana Barana Biraj Subesa Kanana Kundala Kunchita Kesa. And we'll move on to the fifth verse too. And we'll see how much we can cover today. I don't think it's going to be too long. So the fifth verse is Hat Bajra Audhvaja Biraje Kandhe Munj Janeyu Saje. It is Kandhe. It is not THE, it is DHE. We'll change it the next time. Kandhe Munj Janeyu Saje. So please respond after me in 4 parts. Hath Vajra. Hath Vajra. Audhvaja Biraje. Audhvaja Biraje. Audhvaja Biraje. Audhvaja Biraje. Kandhe Munj. Kandhe Munj. Janeyu Saje. Janeyu Saje. So what does the verse say? Again, explaining the appearance of Hanuman, it says, Hath Vajra. In his hand, he has the Vajra Yudha. We'll come to that. Au and Dhvaja Biraje. He's holding a flag in his hand. Kandhe, in his shoulder. Munj Janeyu. Janeyu, the sacred thread. And Munj, grass, the sacred thread made out of a particular form of grass. Saje, it rests on his shoulder. Lord Hanuman wears a sacred thread over his shoulder across his body. So the first thing it says, Hanuman is holding the Vajrayudha. Vajrayudha is considered one of the most powerful weapon, which is actually held by the king of gods, the king of the demigods, the king of the heaven, Lord Indra. He is usually shown holding the Vajrayudha. So Lord Indra, if you show it in the bigger size, Lord Indra, he has in his left hand the Vajrayudha. So Vajra translates to a precious stone like diamond, which is very difficult to break. Vajra also translates to lightning. So it is as powerful as a lightning, which just comes like a lightning, strikes like a lightning. You have no time to respond. And it's as powerful as a lightning that you're just completely helpless if you are attacked with a Vajrayudha. Just how powerful it is. And it seems once the Devaloka, the heavens, the abode of the demigods were attacked by the Asuras. They were trying to overpower the Devaloka, and the Devas went to Brahma asking for help. And Brahma said, this particular Asura has a boon which I cannot help with, because he has a boon, he cannot be destroyed. The only way to destroy him is you need to have a Vajrayudha. And where will you get the Vajrayudha? Vajrayudha finally was given to them by sage called Dadhichi. Sage Dadhichi was known for his bones, which were extremely powerful because of his yogic powers. And he sacrificed himself and made a weapon out of his bones, and he gave it to the Devas to use it against that Asura, to finally win against him. So he sacrificed himself for the victory of good over the evil. But not any and everyone can handle the Vajrayudha. You need to be capable. And they had to finally decide. Only Indra was capable of holding that weapon and slay the Asura. So to hold the Vajrayudha, you need to have that ability. Only then can you handle Vajrayudha, it seems. And it seems later, once again when Devaloka was attacked and Indra was attacked by an Asura, I don't remember exactly the name of the Asura. The Asura attacked Indra unexpectedly, and the Vajrayudha slipped from his hand. It fell down, and Indra was down helpless. And it seems no one could handle the Vajrayudha. The only person who could handle the Vajrayudha, who came down as a superhero, as a savior, was Hanuman. He lifted the Vajrayudha and slayed the Asura, it seems. And everyone was completely taken aback that none of the Devas could handle the Vajrayudha, but Hanuman did. And it seems Indra and the other Devas granted him the boon that you should hold the Vajrayudha hereforth, because you are the capable one to hold it. You just proved it completely unexpectedly. We didn't expect you to be that capable. So that's how he has the Vajrayudha in his hand. So Hat Vajra and Audhvaja Biraje. And he also has the flag. Flag represents victory. He ever has victory on his stride. We just discussed the last time. Whoever has Hanuman on his side will ever be victorious, right? We discussed about how Sugriva became the king, how Vibhishana became the king. For that matter, how Rama became the king once they had Hanuman on their side. So the flag represents victory. The symbol of victory. Hanuman ever is on, whoever has Hanuman on his or her side is ever victorious. So Audhvaja. So Dhwaja. One who has the Vajrayudha and the Dhwaja in his hands. Another way of interpreting this is talking about the flag. Again, going back to Mahabharata, we discussed how Bhima met Hanuman and Hanuman taught him the lesson of overcoming ego. Similarly, Bhima's younger brother, the ace archer, Arjuna, was also kind of egoistic about his ability. No one could equal him in his ability in archery. So Hanuman had to teach him a lesson too as a younger brother. So it seems he happened to, Arjuna, during their exile period, happened to come across this monkey who was talking all the great things about Rama, Lord Rama. And he was like, I agree, Lord Rama was great, but for all the abilities he had, he could have just used his archery skill to go across the ocean. Why did he make all these monkeys throw boulders into the water and build a bridge? He could have just built a bridge with his arrows. And he's so strong, he could have built a strong bridge. He was so capable, he could have built a strong bridge with the arrows. Why didn't he do that? And Hanuman, the monkey responds telling that wasn't possible because the bridge couldn't be as strong to hold the monkeys. They were very strong. And he was completely taken aback. He's like, you're questioning the strength of archery, the field itself. I will show you how to build a strong bridge. The monkey says, very well, please do it. And he shoots a lot of arrows and then builds a bridge. And the monkey says, can I stand on it? The moment the monkey stands on it, the bridge collapses. And then Arjuna doesn't give up. He builds even stronger bridge. And the monkey stands on it, the bridge collapses. He builds even stronger bridge. The monkey stands on it, the bridge collapses. And that's when Hanuman reveals himself to him, telling, I am no normal monkey, I am Hanuman. I'm here to just teach you about a lesson on egoism, on being egoistic, about your ego, how you're so egoistic about your ability with your archery. You need to understand, the more egoistic you become, your very ability becomes your disability. And it seems, along with teaching him the lesson, Lord Hanuman gave a boon to Arjuna, or a promise, telling, I will protect you when you go for the Mahabharata war, or when you go for the war. That's why Arjuna's chariot, on top of it, we see a flag with Hanuman's figure on it. So, Dhwaja Biraje, one who sits on the flag, could be another interpretation of Dhwaja Biraje, one who sits on the flag. So, one who has a Vajrayudha, one who has a flag, or one who is situated on the flag. That could be the other interpretation. Again, another interpretation of Vajra and Dhwaja. Vajra and Dhwaja are two terms in the field of palmistry. So in the field of palmistry, there are various lines in your palms which represent various aspects of your life. So it seems one of the lines called Vajra represents how powerful one could be. And another line I'm not a palmistry person at all, so I have no idea. Another line which is called Dhwaja, which represents how far-reaching your fame would be. So, Vajra and Dhwaja, one who has both in his hands, one who is strong and powerful, and one who is famous, because thousands and thousands of years after his birth, we are still sitting here discussing about him. So that itself explains the aspect of Dhwaja, his fame. We are still talking about Hanuman. So that is another explanation of one who holds Vajra and Dhwaja in his hands. Power and fame. He has it in his fist. And then last part of the verse, we'll just do that. It's 8:30. I think it won't take more than a couple of 2 or 3 minutes. What is the question?
Did Hanuman say Rama Rama in repetition? Beside our mantra, Ma Om, would we recite Amma Amma?
Okay, so there's a question. We'll just quickly finish this and go to that. Or we'll do it next week. I'll make note of it. So we'll just finish this. The last part of the verse, which goes as Kandhe Munj Janeyu Saje, one who has a thread, the sacred thread, Janeyu. It's in Sanskrit, it is known as Upavita, one who wears a sacred thread around his body. It's like the seat belt, it goes across. is the seat belt, is the spiritual seat belt, which safeguards you as a student. It is so the sacred thread is typically worn by a brahmachari, one who is seeking true knowledge. So it's a practice in India wherein you would have this the sacred thread ceremony when you're about 7 for boys. So you would wear it across. It goes from your top of your left shoulder across the body. So it's like a seat belt. It safeguards you in your journey, in your journey of seeking knowledge. So it's like a seat belt. So Hanuman, like in the picture, is depicted wearing it. Hanuman, as we discussed, is an established being, established in wisdom. He's all powerful and he's all knowledgeable too. But still, Hanuman, throughout his life, ever beheld the attitude of a student. He learned from his father, Kesari, and then we discussed last week, he learned from the sun god, Surya Deva. Later, he was a student of Narada Maharshi, the sage Narada, from whom he learned the creative arts. And then he learned from Lord Rama, who was his ultimate master. And not just that, he learned from any and every situation. He learned from any and every one, however significant or insignificant they were. He learned from Jambavan. We discussed the bear who revealed to him his true power. He learned from Vibhishana, Ravana's brother. He learned from Sita. He learned from Lakshmana. For that matter, he even was so humble to learn from Lava and Kusha, who were born much later, Lord Rama and Sita's sons, twin sons, who were born much later. He was much older and much wiser than them. Still, he was humble to learn from them. Again, it represents or it teaches us the attitude we need to have as a spiritual aspirant. We should ever have an open heart to learn, ever have the attitude to accept and learn. Like Amma says, we need to have the heart of a 3-year-old child, innocence of a 3-year-old child. Only a child can grow. If we assume ourselves as grown-ups, we will never grow any further. So we should ever have that attitude to learn and grow. So that's what the Janeyu, the sacred thread that Hanuman wears, represents. So I thought I'll share that too. So we did finish in 3 minutes, so 8:33. So we'll conclude the discussion here. So the question you pointed out, a good chant for Amma is Om Amriteshwariye Namah. The best is to get one from Amma is... Oh, okay, the question is, did Hanuman say Rama Rama in repetition? Beside our mantra Ma Om, would we recite Amma Amma? And then someone responded telling, get a mantra from Amma. So if you wouldn't mind, because it's 8:34 and then we have to chant, I'll take this up in the very beginning the next week, if that is okay with you. With your permission, I'll conclude the discussion, because in case I start answering this, that will take another 10 minutes or so, then it'll get very delayed. So just respecting your time, I'll just conclude the discussion part here. I'll make note of this question and we'll discuss that the next week. So with your permission, we'll conclude the discussion part. Please stay with us. We will now sing the Hanuman Chalisa. Om Amriteshwariye Namah. Give us a couple of minutes to set up the mic and then we will chant or sing the Hanuman Chalisa. श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधारि बरना रघुबर बिमल जसु जो दायक फल चारि बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरा पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेस भिकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीस तिहु लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित के हाथ वज्र ध्वजा विराजे आंधे मूंज जनेऊ साजे शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया। सिया राम सिया राम सिया राम सिया राम जय हनुमान सिया राम सिया राम सिया राम सिया राम जय हनुमान। सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सिंहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के काज सवारे लाय संजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुवीर हर्षि उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बढ़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरतहि सम भाई सहस बदन तुम्हरो जस गावै अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावै सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिगपाल जहाते कभी कोविद कही सकै कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा। सिया राम सिया राम सिया राम सिया राम जय हनुमान सिया राम सिया राम सिया राम सिया राम जय हनुमान। हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु लील्यो ताहि मधुर फल जानु प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माही जलधि लांघि गए अचर जनाही दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हारे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना, तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना। आपन तेज संहारो आपै, तीनों लोक हाँकते कापै। भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवै, महावीर जब नाम सुनावै। सिया राम सिया राम सिया राम सिया राम, जय हनुमान। सिया राम सिया राम सिया राम सिया राम, जय हनुमान। आसे रोग हरे सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत पीरा। संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावै, मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावै। सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा। और मनोरथ जो कोई लावै, सोई अमित जीवन फल पावै। चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा, है परिसिद्ध जगत उजियारा। साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता, असबर दीन जानकी माता। राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा, सदा रहा रघुपति के दासा। सिया राम सिया राम सिया राम सिया राम, जय हनुमान। सिया राम सिया राम सिया राम सिया राम, जय हनुमान। तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावै, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावै। अंत काल रघुबरपुर जाई, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई। और देवता चित्त न धरई, हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई। संकट कटै मिटै सब पीरा, जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई। जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई, झूठ ही बंधी महासुख होई। जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, कीजे नाथ हृदय महडेरा। कीजे नाथ हृदय महडेरा। पवन तनय संकट हरन, मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसह सुरभूप। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। ओ माता सीता की जय, ओ माता सीता की जय। ओ भ्राता लक्ष्मण की जय, ओ भ्राता लक्ष्मण की जय। भरत और शत्रुघ्न की जय, भरत और शत्रुघ्न की जय। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। लोका समस्ता सुखिनो भवन्तु। लोका समस्ता सुखिनो भवन्तु। लोका समस्ता सुखिनो भवन्तु। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम।